checks this number and periodically updates it. And we already got from a Wargaming community manager, we found out that this number is accurate. So the website that constantly updates based on this number is also accurate. So in other words, what we get is a constant stream of data on how many people are online on the game. NA. So I think the best way to get a big sample size is to look at NA over a period of months. Because if you just take 1 month, well, if you just take 1 day, it's going to skew a lot. Even in 1 month, it can skew quite a bit. So the way I'm going to do it is I'm going to take the average player count over the past 3 months. I feel like that's pretty good. Average player count of the past 3 months, 1 year ago, and then today, to get an idea of where it's shifting. Because then it's the exact time of the year, exact same time of the year. The area that's covered is huge, and I feel like it should give a pretty general idea of where the numbers are moving. Because yeah, honestly, it shouldn't leave too much up to interpretation. It should be pretty straightforward. 6 months would be better. Half a year? I think 3 months is okay. I think 3 months, because then I can go from now till summer. I can basically go from now till August. Well, the first one is NA. NA for 2022 from August, late August, what is it, August 15th to November 15th. The average player count on NA 2022 was 7,162. Actually, we could add it here. What was it? NA is 7,162. Was a year ago. That was a year ago. 7,162. So that was NA 1 year ago.
This is a wise tactic.
The peaks are what? 15K?
Noted everyone taking notes. There will be a test after.
That's not too bad. 15K spikes. And then
this is a wise tactic.
NA now. NA now, 3 months from 15th November 23 to August once again, 16th August. So the same 3-month period. And, well, we have a weird spike that was just a few days ago that is 14K. But besides that, the spikes have clearly dropped off in terms of how many people are like playing at the same time. This is the only one that's quite recent that we had. Besides that, the number is 6268. So that is the average count. 6268. Whoops. 6268. So we've gone from 7162 to 6268. So this is 1 year or 3-month period. 1 year ago, 3-month period now. Average player numbers. And this is kind of sad when you consider that a lot of C has transferred to NA and is playing on NA, and this calculates to minus 12%. So the player count on NA has dropped 12.5% roughly. Okay, that's pretty bad, because the COVID no longer has anything to do with these numbers. We already had the COVID drop. 21 to 22 was already the COVID drop. In fact, yeah, at the start of 2022, there was no longer COVID involved. And this is late 2022 to now. So that no longer really applies. Okay, what server next? What server next? EU? We can do EU. Let's see. EU server. EU server, we went from... In 2022, EU server had an average of 12,500 and... What was it? EU's gotten a lot of transfers on it. EU's gotten a lot of transfers on it. So we had 12,532, and our spikes were what? almost 30k, 29.8. A couple of spikes here that are almost 30k, and then the rest of them are like 29k. So a fair few spiking up here, and as of late spikes to like 28k. So this was 1 year ago, and now we are at 11,333. Well, and the spikes that used to be 29, almost 30k, are now the highest is 25.6, and that's only 2. Everything else is down here at 25, 24k. So the sheer amount of players online at the same time has dropped off quite a bit, and the average number has dropped to 11,333. Okay, so how much of a drop are we talking here? We go from 12.5. This is kind of tragic when you consider that a lot of, like, all of Russia transferred to EU. Well, not all of it, but a lot of Russian players transferred to EU, and a lot of C player transferred to EU. This is equals a drop of minus 9.6%, roughly, in terms of players. Okay, so do we do C next? Okay, we'll do C next. C server. This is 2022. C server 2022. We had an average of, wait, what does that say? It says 8,038. 8,038. 8,030. Is it 38? Yeah, 8,038 average. Spikes to what, 22.3k is the biggest spike. We had a couple of those, and then the rest are about 19.5, 20, about 20k, yeah. 20k spikes here, a couple. And this was 1 year ago. Today, C, in the last 3 months, the average numbers on C is 6,897. 6,897. And the spikes, which, what was there? Or they were over 22k. The biggest spike is only 1 now, and that's 19.3. And the rest of them are significantly lower. And in general, the trend isn't too hot either. Holy shit, what the fuck is this trend? The trend isn't too hot on C. It's not looking too good. What kind of drop are we talking here? We're talking from 8,038 to 6,897. That is a drop of, holy shit, that's a drop of 14.2%. Jesus. Okay, that was bigger than I thought. Holy fuck. Russia. Well, Russia might actually, let's see, how much is Russia actually dropping right now? Well, in the Russia, our statistic is going to be a bit misleading in the sense that this spike here that happened last year, you see this spike here, this was September last year. And the reason why this is a bit misleading was this was when server transfers open. So a lot of people logged in to transfer their accounts to EU. And this happened right around this. I think it was September 16th when they opened the server transfer. Special military operation, of course, has brutally killed the Russian server. It used to be one of the larger ones, but you can see the drop period at the beginning of January, March 22. You can see how it drops off a cliff like this. But this is 7615. 7615. And what is the current state of C? The current state of C is, well, I don't know what exactly has happened, but there's been a big spike September. Big spike, and I feel like if this goes on for another month, the numbers are going to be much higher than they are right now. Because I don't know what happened September this year, but a lot of players suddenly returned to the game. Maybe the canned fish event? I don't know what they did, but they did something, and the player numbers have been rising like a lot on Russia. Not sure what the hell they did. So, but regardless, we don't really care about that. That's why we took a large amount of data. We took 3 months average player numbers, 24 hours per day counted, like a huge amount of data that's averaged out to get a general view of where it's trending. And 6996. This is, I think of all these numbers, I think this one is the most misleading because it coincided with when the server transfers opened last year, and now, I just want to see what it looks like the last month, unless people are already online on the page, in which case it's already crashed. It might have already crashed. This is why I preloaded all these windows, because this site, the stats photopy, it's good, but the servers are literally ran by a hamster, and if like 1 or 2 people open it, it just crashes. And I think, and every time I show it on stream, there's always a couple of guys who are like, I should also open that stream because streamer guy is opening it, or I should also open that page. Yeah, I think it's crashed. I don't think it's gonna load. Still, that gives us on Russia, we are at 7615 6996. That gives us a drop of minus 8%, 8.1%, roughly. Oh, it did show the whoa. Well, the 1 month doesn't look good at all. How does it look so low? Are the offline times longer? That's interesting, because that looks even worse. That looks even worse, right? Are because people are offline for longer, but the spikes are higher? That is even worse. Wonder what they've done. I don't know. Regardless, it's a drop, and it's an 8.1% drop. So regardless of the situation, it's still it's still a shit show. It's still a shit show in terms of, no, this site isn't loading proper anymore. It's still a drop off in terms of players. So of these, Russia has lost the least. EU has gotten transfers from other servers, but they've still lost 9.6%. NA has lost 12.5%. C is in, well, honestly, fucking free fall, because it's lost 14.2% in a single year, which is really fucking brutal. And then we have Steam, which is generally these numbers will kind of overlap, because people who log in through Steam are still shown as players online. So this is not really a player count that's separate, but this is more like some EU players, some NA players, some whatever. So this is just a separate metric to see what this metric says. And well, this separate metric isn't exactly good either. This separate metric isn't exactly good either, because, well, just in the last 30 days, the average players has for the first time dipped below 6,000, which is the first time. This was bot month. Yeah, these are the reason why I don't like Steam chart numbers is every now and then there will be like Steam achievements, or like these awards you can get on Steam if you log into the game. So a lot of people, like in November 2022, 400,000 people logged in to pick up their reward. So obviously that hugely inflates this number and completely skews with it. So there's a lot of like faulty data in this chart because of that. There's faulty data here and there's faulty data here, which is obviously faulty, and sometimes it bleeds over to the next month. As you can see, it bleeds over into the next month, this faulty data. But generally speaking, if you ignore these anomalies that are caused by the Steam achievement thing, we're below 6,000 for the first time since November 2019, when the game was still growing. Yeah, for the first time since November 2019, the player count has dropped below 6,000. Steam numbers is all servers. Yeah, this is all servers. This can be EU, NA, Russia, C, whatever. EU, NA, Russia, C, yeah, basically. It can be any of the 4 servers. But this is only people who log in through Steam, so... But it does show the current trend of their decision making. Let's put it that way. This shows that if we compare it, October this year, October last year, where's October 6.8? September was 7.7, 6.3. I mean, it's November is of course hilariously misleading. So we won't quote. If you use this, we would have dropped 40%, but that's not true. This is once again this is skewed data because of the Steam achievement, so it's not accurate. But the general trend is not really hard to keep track of. So Steam players can't, CIS can't play on. Okay, fair enough, fair enough. Regardless, this is for the first time underneath 6. So this is past year World of Warships in a nutshell. I mean, now I hate when people go, "Oh, the game is dying." No, but the game is losing players. That's it. Doesn't like the game isn't suddenly going to keel over and die this year or even the next year, but it's obvious that what Wargaming are doing is driving away players at this extremely steady and consistent rate. Ever since COVID ended, it's been a steady decline, and nothing. And honestly, it doesn't look like Wargaming is even particularly caring about this because this steady decline is continuing.
This is a wise tactic.
Flamu or Flameapat.
Yeah. Subs are great for the game. Yeah, no, honestly, it's clear that what they're doing is in no way helping, and it's making the situation worse, and they're still doing it, which is, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. It's hard for me to understand because I don't understand the business decisions behind subs. I don't see submarines earning enough money to justify the way they're driving away old players. I don't understand it. And honestly, if anything, the numbers seem to back up my argument that no one understands it. And nothing that they're doing so far seems to be particularly good. If anything, it just screams of short-term profits over long-term sustainability. That's what it screams to me. It's they make a quick buck with the subs now, hopefully a really big buck, because it's slowly choking the game.